Right. Modesty. Let's talk about it. I'm sure you've heard a lot about this topic before, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people that are probably annoyed at the idea of the moment you start hearing the word modesty. Everybody starts thinking, oh, great, somebody's about to tell me how to dress. Somebody's about to tell me how to cover up. Somebody's about to tell me, oh, I'm making men to sin and all that nonsense. Okay, let's just stop right there. Just stop right there. Stop that nonsense, okay? That's not what it's about. I think everybody has had the wrong idea about this topic, and when I talk about it, I really want to kind of just break it down, and I want to give you, from a man's point of view, what is it that you need to think about whenever you think about modesty and what modesty really has to do with. Forget about the clothes. First things first, if Christians are not talking about this topic, the world is doing that. Takes every topic and redistributes it and repackages it in its own way. And a lot of young people out there are getting this idea that there's this sense of freedom to express yourself however you want. If that's how you feel, then embrace that. If it's about sexuality and that's how you feel, then embrace that. That's what it is. One of the main things that I know people hate about this topic when it comes to this, and I'm talking about women in particular, you probably hate hearing about this. Let's be honest, like you hate this topic. You hate it. The moment somebody starts talking about modesty, it's about to tell me how I need to dress, to drag it down, start looking like my grandmother or something. No, that's not what it's about. Does it have to do with clothes? Yeah, somewhat. But there's a lot of thinking behind it that has to do with a lot more than just clothes that I think a lot of times people tend to misunderstand about it. It shouldn't be really coming from a man at all, but I think it helps when it's coming from a man. How you present yourself has absolutely nothing to do with the other. Do we care about what we should look like when we walk out of the house? Yes, 100%. But the only thing that you owe anybody when you walk outside of your house is not to show up naked, period. And that's it. Fashion, overrated. It has to do with making a statement. It has to do with meeting some kind of expectation. So whose expectation are you trying to meet? That's a question that I always pose to people. The world constantly tells you what beauty is and what beauty looks like. It's not going to take you a long time when you're walking down the street and you look at the shop stalls and there's a girl on a billboard and she's got makeup on and she looks in a specific way. Or you look at a magazine and they say beauty tips, or you look at something on social media and it's a picture and a lot of people are complimenting a girl. They say you look beautiful when she looks in a specific way. And that begins to inform people about what it's like to be complimented about your beauty. And the funny thing about beauty is that for you to be beautiful, you don't need to be told that you're beautiful. And beauty is not something that requires somebody to acknowledge it in order for it to be true. But when you live in a world that constantly tells you that in order to be beautiful, you need to look in a certain way, beauty has become synonymous with nakedness or with sexuality. Beauty has sort of like become something that is associated with which body parts you show, the amount of skin that you show, or how you accentuate your curves or certain parts of your body. Obviously, we're going to have a situation when it comes to that, because I've worked in an industry where designers literally present their wear and what it represents and what they were thinking and what it embodies when they were designing that. Every piece of clothing that you wear has a thinking behind it. And a lot of women don't really kind of think about it, but on the one hand, they want to feel beautiful and they want to be complimented. It doesn't really matter who's complimenting you, so long as you get the compliment. This is where it gets really tricky, I think, whereby you don't understand that sometimes the way that you look might communicate something different than what you're hoping to get. So I guess it's all about what's your objective and what are you trying to achieve. When a man looks at a woman, he's got two drives. First one is potential life partner. Second one is potential sex partner. Big difference. The thing about a life partner is that it is somebody that they are looking for certain qualities in, somebody who they see themselves starting a family with, somebody who they can be with even without looking at them. They could literally blindfold themselves and actually like that person. Then the second one is, it's all about the physique. It's all about the sex drive. It's all about what a man quenches, his innate urges, in which case he could satisfy that. Once he has that gratification, he looks for something else. But if you can get both of those in one package, that would be fantastic. But the only problem is which one are you attracting? That's the main thing. And when I say which one are you attracting, I mean which one are you attracting the most? The biggest problem that I see women having is that they think beauty is something that needs to be validated and acknowledged by somebody. Beauty is not something that requires me to compliment you in order for it to be true. It simply is true even before someone acknowledges it. It's not about the clothes. Because otherwise, people would go and look at the clothes and start complimenting the clothes and be like, hey, t-shirt, can I take you home with me? What are you presenting and what are you embodying when you present yourself? It's really about yourself as a person, an inside out expression of how you view yourself as a person. The moment we start talking about how you present yourself affects other people, or how there is a reaction or a reactionary mechanism that is associated with how you present yourself, it becomes a completely different topic. Forget about how people react to you, because I know in Christianity, of course, we've probably talked about these topics in our churches or in other different places where we talk about how it affects men. And if a man sees you being really sexual in how you present yourself, start lusting at you, and that sort of trips him up. And that's, well, it is a terrible thing in a way, but the point of the matter is that's not the definition of modesty, and that's not really the intention of what we should be aiming for when we're talking about modesty. Because if we focus on the end result of what happens around you, or the environment, or your impact and effect, and I think we are missing the point of how people should really be thinking about that, especially from the women perspective, because you're really the main target market when it comes to the fashion industry and when it comes to being sexualized. The thing is, a lot of you girls really wanna be in great relationships. You wanna find a great guy who respects you and a great guy who's not a cheater or whatever. I feel like sometimes you kind of contradict that by not really understanding that sometimes the kind of people, and I'm talking about girls who have probably dated guys who they like one relationship after another. The last one was probably cheated on you, or the other one was like always interested in only the sexual aspect of it. That's because that's really what they wanted, or maybe they that's really the first thing that they saw based on how you presented yourself. Maybe your relationships weren't necessarily sexual relationships, but there were relationships in which guys would seem like that's all that they were interested in, and that's pretty much because it's based off how you present yourself and the types of guys that you keep attracting to yourself. And it feels good to be complimented, if you may, complimented. Sure enough, everybody feels good when they're being complimented, because you are in the center of the limelight. Everybody likes being on the spotlight. But what happens when the spotlight isn't on you, and how long do you think you can really keep it up? Ladies, this is what I'm saying. If you want to find a quality man, you gotta understand what a quality man looks for in a woman. What are the qualities that you have that you would like a man to really see and recognize in you as a person? Because that's what a quality man really goes for. And I'm saying this because I see a lot of you making this kind of mistake. I have a niece, and she's like brilliant. She's fantastic. She's smart. She's intelligent and everything. And they say, every man kind of wants a son, but every man needs a daughter. There's something about having a daughter or having a young girl, raising a child around you, and you see more of her as a person and as a female and as a human than just the opposite of sex, and than just a gender that you desire sexually, because she has all these other different components about her as a person. She's smart, she's intelligent, she has a personality that is infectious. That changes your perspective about how you see women around you. And that's why I'm saying this, because you have guys who are still immature and they haven't grown up enough to understand things like that. If you attract the kind of guy who doesn't really look for those different things that you see about yourself and that you value about yourself, because you're busy speaking a different language in how you present yourself, it has a really bad effect. At the end of the day, you're going to find yourself going through a roller coaster of a bunch of guys that you keep attracting, who don't really appreciate you for who you are as a person, because the first thing that they were attracted by is how you look. So in hindsight, modesty does not really have to do with the other. It doesn't have to do with how you your dressing affects men. It doesn't have to do with what you project out there. It's really more an inside out expression of how you feel as a person, how you see yourself as a person. What do you think best represents you as a woman and as a person, as an intellectual woman worthy of companionship? Sexuality is something that's like packaged and waiting for you to express it, but there's an appropriate way of expressing sexuality and the right place to do that, at least for us who are believers, know very well. God designed sexuality to be an accommodating feature or aspect of life that is supposed to not just to enhance a complete circle of experiences, but to also have us enjoy the full benefits of what it's like to be with someone who actually completes that and complements who you are as a person. Okay, this is starting to get a little too lectury. Point of the matter that I'm saying here is, ladies, stop talking the sex language if that's not all you're looking for. Because when you do that, it kind of confuses guys. You might want to consider how you present yourself to embody more of what you are looking for than what someone else is looking for. That's what I'm kind of saying in a nutshell. I hope you really understand what I'm saying. I hope you've learned something from this video and you can really kind of start to reflect and think about how you present yourself a little bit more. Yeah, that's really pretty much all I wanted to say. God bless you guys, and I hope this video has blessed you. And like, subscribe, do come back for more videos, do watch more of my content. And please, I need the comments and I need the engagement so that YouTube can really YouTube can pump my videos out there and recommend them for other people to watch them. Okay, super. God bless. And please, modesty. Cheers and God bless.